Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to warmly welcome you to today's press conference on behalf of the entire Supervisory Board of Uniper. Uniper is a company with a unique success story. It took us less than 2 years to establish a company that has a sound and stable financial basis, has reinvented itself culturally, and has become an integral part of our community. The company provides gas and electricity supply in Germany and in Europe on an everyday basis. Uniper is now an established brand among customer stakeholders, shareholders, and also among employees. The initial conditions have not been easy. You might remember that. We were the remainders. Many did not confide in us and did not believe that we could manage this position. But I am proud to be the chair of the Supervisory Board of Uniper, a company with highly committed employees offering products that are high in demand and that is also asked for its opinion. On the Supervisory Board, we have constructively and curiously accompanied activities of the company. It has always been diverse and ambitious. The organizational repositioning of the company, for example, the IPO in September 2016, the large power plant projects, for instance, and the continuously changing electricity transition frameworks. We talked about strategy questions, employment, and also asset and financial questions. From the start, we backed the horse of dialogue. The exchange with the management board was very important to myself and the entire supervisory board. But also within the supervisory board, communication has worked well. Representatives of shareholders and employees work hand in hand. We all want the best for Uniper, for the employees, the shareholders, and its customers. To the day, 4 months ago, we were faced with an entire new situation. Without any warning, Fortum submitted an offer after they talked to E.ON to take us over completely. It didn't come as a surprise that E.ON wanted to sell its stake in Uniper. This was clear from the start. However, what was surprising was the timing and also the process. Let me quote the press release from November 2014. The remaining minority stake should be placed on the stock market in a mid-term period. This statement was repeated at the annual general meeting, for instance, in 2016. The CEO said, "In the mid-term, we will sell our stake in Fortum to strengthen free float and make Uniper completely independent." But let's come back to Fortum now. The takeover concept said that the activities in Sweden and Russia should be integrated to Fortum's portfolio. And we are also talking about a large part of the Uniper business, that the remaining business will be set up in a different dividend. A dominance agreement was to be set up that was controlled from Finland. The offer was 19 euros back then. The main conditions on Fortum's side was the approval of the management board and the supervisory board and an audit of the company. After our review, the supervisory board and the management board rejected this offer unanimously and very decisively. The price offered was not attractive in our view, and the strategic business concept was not convincing either. We thought that this was it back then because the share price was also increasing and exceeding the offered 19 euros. But it was very surprising that 2 months ago, Fortum started a new takeover attempt on the 20th of September 2017. The press agency statement was delivered to us during a supervisory board meeting. It said that during this meeting we worked on the new course for Uniper. So we suspended our supervisory board meeting, and after Uniper and Fortum, E.ON and Fortum agreed with what had happened, we ended our supervisory board meeting. So the supervisory board meeting had then to talk about the new bid. But there was a problem. We had to wait 7 weeks for the documentation to be reviewed. That was a very long term and was, well, still in the legal limit, of course, but E.ON wanted to make sure that they could save on taxes by selling in 2018 and not 2017. All the knowledge we gathered was what we learned from the media. For 2 weeks now, we have been presented with the current takeover bid from Fortum. There's, however, a difference. The approval by the supervisory board and the management are no longer a condition, nor is the audit of the financial position. The offer for share has been increased by a bit more than 2 euros. It is also new that the Uniper shares takeover is also secured by E.ON with a penalty fee. The extent of this penalty fee, and I believe we're on the same page here, only became clear when looking at the tendering documents. The last 2 weeks showed more than clearly that the Uniper Supervisory Board works based on trust, that the cooperation between representatives of the shareholders and the representatives is constructive, and also our collaboration with the management board is constructive. At the same time, we committed our own advisors at the Supervisory Board to make sure that we can form our opinion independently of the management board. So please rest assured that we take this offer seriously and have studied it intensively too. Yesterday, there was the extraordinary supervisory board meeting. We discussed Fortum's bid and unanimously decided to reject the bid. Klaus Schäfer and Christopher Delbrück will tell you more about the reasons for our decision. On behalf of the Supervisory Board, I can say that we decided to issue a joint substantiated statement. Supervisory Board, meaning representatives of employees and shareholders and the Management Board. To give you a complete picture, this means that the Group Works Council of Uniper also supports this joint statement to full extent. Thus, they will not issue a separate statement. The following remarks are fully supported by the Supervisory Board and all co-determination bodies. Before I hand over to Klaus Schäfer, I'd like to mention another topic. 2 weeks ago, you could read in the Handelsblatt that the E.ON CEO asked me to talk to the management board of Uniper and to remind them of their duties, to talk them into senses. This is correct. But it is also correct that I was not the only one who was targeted. Also, the executive committee of the supervisory board received such a letter. None of the reasons or the objections against the management board were convincing, not even from a legal standpoint. If it is correct what I was able to read in the media, that this letter was handed from the E.ON to the media before I had a chance to read that, the underlying intention is more than clear. I spoke to the Supervisory Board chair of E.ON in a face-to-face conversation, so we have been able to clear up some issues. I benefited from my experience in the spin-off process, and I could also provide background information. This helped to clarify the position. Now, let me summarize. Being the chair of the Supervisory Board of Uniper, I have always been informed of the activities of our company. Rest assured that this holds especially true when it comes to a takeover process. At no point in time my colleagues on the Supervisory Board ever doubted activities carried out by the Management Board. We fully support Klaus Schäfer and the entire management. And now let me hand over to Klaus Schäfer.